day or two after I filmed the first part of this video, I received a phone call from the genetic counselor from my doctor's office, and our cell-free DNA test came back. Hey, so it has been a day since I posted the 20-week ultrasound results video for you guys. And I just wanted to continue the update because lots of things are happening like every single day. So I want to keep recording that and eventually compile it all into like one video for you guys. So I'm just going to do a quick update today about what's happened kind of in the last little bit. And then, like I said, everything will be kind of like a story time from now until we get more concrete evidence. Yes, I look the same. Super sloppy, but that's kind of just the way life is going right now. I have even more minimal time than I ever have before. It is what it is. So to me, it's more important to like use my time that I have to keep you guys updated rather than like making sure I look adequate enough on my camera. So picking up kind of where we left off, we ended up getting the report from the ultrasound sent to my patient portal on like 2 days ago. So a couple days ago we got the report, and I just was reading through it because I just know kind of in the past sometimes there's an error in communication between what the doctor will say to you in an appointment and what you actually see that was reported. Sometimes there's a little bit of a discrepancy, and because again there was like such a small overage on the number, I just kind of wanted to look at like everything again. You know, when you go to your anatomy scan, they don't like tell you everything. They're kind of just like, here's the arms, here's the head, here's the heart. Like they're not telling you, okay, we measured the heart here and this is what it's coming out to. We did the leg here and this is what it's coming out to. But all of that is like in a detailed report that I got on my patient portal. So that's what I'm going through. And I noticed that it says they weren't able to find certain images of the heart, the aorta, and the trachea. And I was like, hold up. I think I told you guys in the last video that the ultrasound technician kept saying like the baby was in a difficult position and she was just like double checking things that the doctor wanted her to. And she also told us that she wanted us to come back possibly in 2 to 4 weeks so she could get the images that she needed. The way that she presented it, I think I included this in the last video, was that she expected to get all of the images and she couldn't because of the baby's position. So after she had been in the room like 3 different times and she never mentioned again putting an order in for us to come back to do another detailed scan, we assumed that meant she got everything. And when the doctor came in and the resident talked to us, they said that the only concerning thing was the thickened nuchal fold. Because if they didn't get all the images of the heart, that's kind of a big deal. I ended up calling my doctor's office and it was just like this snowball effect that happened. The nurse called me back. She couldn't find the report I was even talking about. She was confused. I was like, do you even work here type of thing? Like, it was like a severe lack of communication. She then ended up calling me back and saying, okay, well, yeah, I guess we should repeat the scan, but we're gonna have you do that in 4 weeks. And I was like, first of all, why wasn't this caught? Second of all, no, I'm not waiting 4 weeks on this. Like 4 weeks? You expect me to wait 4 weeks? No. Because every other time that I've heard, like I've had friends who have gone through this, not through this exact thing, but who have gone to an anatomy scan and they haven't gotten all the images and they go back like a couple days later. So then that just kind of sent off another tailspin of stuff. The nurse practitioner had to call me directly, but I was so upset that she couldn't, like I couldn't talk to her. I had to have Donald call her back. What we ended up hearing from them is that it's normal for you to not get all of the images at 20 weeks. Again, because sometimes the baby's position, sometimes maternal anatomy, sometimes, you know, just lots of different reasons. So what was difficult is explaining to them that they can't tell us things are normal and abnormal at the same time. As Kimberly from the WOD Squad says, short story long, I ended up talking to a scheduler, a ultrasound technician manager, the ultrasound technician herself, the nurse practitioner again, and I kind of like pushed the issue that we wanted to come in sooner rather than later. So this upcoming early next week, we're going to go in for a follow-up ultrasound, and the nurse practitioner indicated that we might even have answers back from the cell-free DNA test even before then. So that's where we're sitting at now. It is a couple days after you guys last saw the first clip, and so much has happened in just a few days. A day or two after I filmed the first part of this video, I received a phone call from the genetic counselor from my doctor's office, and our cell-free DNA test came back completely normal. I was really hoping to catch that moment on camera for a lot of different reasons, and one of them was because I wanted to share parts of it with you guys. I also wanted to just have it on record so I could like repeat what she said. But what I mean is, like, I just wish I could have her exact verbiage be on camera so I could like replay it for anybody who asked. The genetic counselor was amazing in the fact that like pretty much the first thing she said was, I have good news. So in case you guys are unfamiliar, or if you're just still a little bit confused even after you've done Google searches on the matter, cell-free DNA is a screening test. So it gave us a pretty much 99% confirmation answer of whether or not there were any chromosomal abnormalities. I think it tests for 4 of the big ones. Let me correct that. I think it's 99% accurate for Down syndrome, and then it goes to like 98, 97% accurate for the other chromosomal abnormalities that it's testing. You guys can look all of that up online, or you can check with your doctor for exact numbers. I did ask her a couple questions because, as I mentioned previously, I have done so much research on the topic, and there were a couple things that I noticed online that made me a little bit scared about the results and the validity of them. According to several resources, there are groups of people who they don't recommend cell-free DNA testing for, and the 2 that stood out to me within the groups that they were talking about were women who had I can't remember what the exact wording was, but higher than average BMI. So plus size women, basically, which I am, and I'm open by sharing that with you guys. And then the second category was people who were on particular blood thinners. The reason those 2 things that I was focusing on made me a little bit nervous about the results were, I guess they can sometimes change the amount of fetal DNA to maternal DNA that they pick up, so it can affect the ratio of that. I did bring that up to the genetic counselor, and she said she saw nothing that was concerning to her regarding either of those things. She did confirm that the minimum amount of fetal DNA that they can test is 4%. So like 4% of the sample has to be fetal DNA for them to move forward with testing. And that's what those factors can affect. So if it would have been a situation where they didn't have that much, or if it was like kind of on the lower end, she would have let me know, but ours was actually almost double that. So she said she felt really confident in the results that were received. Hearing those results was just like, even just talking about them right now is shocking. I feel like this whole process has been such a roller coaster because life goes on. You know, we already have 1 kid, and I have to continue to care for her. I have to continue to put on a brave face. I have to continue to function. You know, I can't just go lie down and wait on results and like truly process every emotion that I'm feeling. So it was kind of like, is this real? Like that type of feeling. I cried. I couldn't cry for very long because I had Calla with me, and she was very confused why I was crying. But once I, you know, cried for 10 seconds and then kind of reassured her everything was okay. So then fast forward to today, prior to receiving those results, we actually had scheduled through approval of the main nurse practitioner and provider that I see at my doctor's office to do a follow-up ultrasound, which happened today. In our anatomy scan, we had the marker, the soft marker show up, but they also weren't able to get all of the images of the heart, which I think I've mentioned before. And that was really concerning for us because we know that the heart can be another area where you see markers for a chromosomal abnormality. So it made us feel really uneasy. Our doctor's office tried to reassure us that it's so common for babies to not get all of the images at 20 weeks, just because of lots of different factors. It's super common to ask you to come back. And they kept saying in 2 to 4 weeks, with emphasis on the 4 weeks, but we just really didn't feel comfortable waiting a month. And at that point, we didn't have the cell-free DNA testing back. And ultimately, even once I got the cell-free DNA testing, I wanted to know sooner rather than later that, you know, everything looked normal and that parts were developing as they should. And I just needed to go back in. So like I said, we did that today and everything came back normal. They literally found everything in 5 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. We spent the rest of the time waiting on the doctor, who wasn't in the office yet apparently, to come in, review quickly, and then we were done. So it was also kind of like a roller coaster morning because it was very stressful. Like, now that we've had the anatomy scan, you know that things can happen like out of the blue. Similar to like what was happening with the miscarriage in the beginning of my pregnancy, I was just very leery and anxious about going to any of the appointments. And now I feel like I'm back there again. I'm having some increased anxiousness again now because of this whole situation. So in case you're confused, let me clarify. Everything that we've received since the anatomy scan has been completely normal, good news. I think it's gonna take me some time to like fully process that. More than anything, this has encouraged our extreme gratefulness to even have the opportunity to be pregnant, to have a healthy baby, to be in this position like where we're able to go to these appointments. I feel like we kind of started to get back into a pattern where you take things for granted and you forget like it was so hard to even get pregnant this second time around, and then there was the miscarriage, and then like you've worked through some of that and you start to kind of, you know, lose some of that anxiousness and forget to just be so grateful. So that's definitely where I'm at today. I will include, this has just been such a stressor, not just on me, it's been a stressor on our entire family. It's been a huge stress and strain on our relationship and our marriage. My daughter has started to kind of like act out a little bit, something I've never seen her do before. And I know, like, I just know as a mom instinct, it's because she could feel like the last week and a half just that everybody was stressed and sad and not their usual self. So I'm at a point where I feel like we can start moving forward again in a positive way and focus on remaining grateful and get back to like really soaking up every wonderful moment of being pregnant with this baby. I will say that the cell-free DNA testing confirmed the gender, and I think that will be revealed soon. I keep almost letting it slip, so I definitely need to get it announced soon. We've taken pictures for it already. I just haven't kind of decided on how I'm gonna announce on YouTube yet. So In case I announce over on Instagram first, be sure you guys are following me over there. I will add my handle to the bottom of the screen here, and I always link it down in the description box. I also want to say today I hit 1,000 followers here on YouTube, and that in and itself is so shocking. I am so grateful for every single person who has clicked on one of my videos, who's supported me and my family with comments, who's reached out to me through DM. All of your subscriptions and watches and support mean so much, and I only hope to continue to grow this platform and have it become just even more of a positive impact on, like, the sky's the limit type of number. The last thing I'm gonna say is, now that we've hit 1K, I am officially gonna do a Q&A. So I am going to open up the comments of the next few videos and just remind you guys, if there's any comments that you would like to have answered, or questions I should say you would like to have answered, leave them below in the comments. I will also do maybe a couple different slides over on my Instagram stories occasionally. That way, those of you who follow me over there more regularly can ask questions over there as well. I will compile it into kind of like a 1K celebration Q&A video. Again, the questions can be anything. They don't have to be maternity or fertility or motherhood related. They could be anything you're interested in knowing. Of course, hopefully they're appropriate. I also plan on having all of my Christmas decor videos coming out soon. I have a decorate my porch with me, and I will have a clean and decorate with me. I think it's gonna be a 2-part series of my first floor and then my top floor. I'm pretty much completely done with my first floor. And then I'm just gonna have to find the energy to go upstairs and decorate upstairs. I don't do our upstairs quite as intensely, so it probably won't be quite so crazy of a video, but I'm excited about it nonetheless. Thank you again, specifically to those of you who supported us through this really stressful time, in a really vulnerable already time. It helped and meant so much that so many of you DM'd me, even just to say that you were lifting us up, that you didn't really have any stories to share, but that you were just praying for us and lifting us up. I am forever grateful for those. Give this video a thumbs up, obviously, because it's amazing news. I'm so glad that this is what I'm filming. Don't forget to always share this video with somebody that you think would help from watching it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, lovelies.